Welcome. This is your reading for the next week to 2 weeks. I'm tuning into your energies and the possibilities that are coming your way and focusing on the most helpful, the most positive, and also the most relevant to you. My name is Nikki. I'm a spiritual life coach. I'm a tarot reader, and I enjoy doing these readings because I know how important it is when we're in times of conflict and uncertainty to get those outside sources of confirmation. And many of you are on a spiritual journey where you're developing how you connect to yourself, but also the world around you. And I believe that tarot is a beautiful channel for that to happen and that type of development to become a practice. As you can tell, my voice is a little deep today because I'm getting a little bit sick, but we will keep this steady, slow, and powerful as always. I've pre-shuffled the cards and I've looked into the current energies. I already get the sense very much that not just the next week to 2 weeks, but really the next from now until the end of the year, you're focusing a lot more on as is this bringing me happiness? Is this bringing me fulfillment? Is the work that I'm doing and carrying into the new year work that I'm going to be excited to do? And let's all acknowledge it's coming towards the end of the year. Sometimes just seasonally, we're tired. I would encourage you not to make decisions on like your entire future based in that energy of like tiredness and fatigue. Allow yourself to rest and replenish and come back to a state of sort of open curiosity and the passion that started you in the first place, if you can reach that, and if it is still there, and ask these questions. Today's reading is guidance around how can we move forward with a lot more clarity, but also with a lot more like joy and love again. So that's the energy. So the initial cards, we've got the Queen of Swords, the Ace of Swords in reverse, the Eight of Cups, the Ace of Wands, Temperance, and Strength. So we start with strong energy with the Queen of Swords, but I feel this is more you like trying to make a decision, trying to make a decision, trying to make a decision. You're strong, you're powerful, you can get shit done. You know that if you had a clear direction, you would just be going for it. But the thing is, the Ace of Swords of it all is you're kind of stuck in, is this divine inspiration? Is this the thing that's meant for me? Or is it something else? And that questioning energy, that indecisiveness is getting in the way. And you're almost on like, two sides of the coin is do I walk away and leave it? Or do I come at it with a fresh perspective? Do I allow this to be, maybe a similar thing, but a new story, a new chapter, a next level of it? And I understand why there's this indecision on what do I do, and that your Queen of Swords is getting a little bit frustrated with this situation. I find it interesting that, in her throne, there's like these little cherubs and children, and it's like she's relegated, if that's the right word, her inner child and that happiness and the joy and the lightness that was a big part of why she got into it in the first place, whatever this path is, whatever area of your life that you're considering your purpose work or your project at the moment. And it's kind of been pushed to the side, covered up, and all this formality has been kind of draped over it. Like that's what I see with her robes. Like she's beautiful, she's powerful, she's sensual, but in this moment, the queen is doing all the right things, thinking all the right thoughts, willing to transform, willing to, do the work inside and out. But all of this kind of forced growth is stunting her growth, is stunting your growth. So really connect to that in this moment. Like, what part of you might you be showing up powerfully, but it's kind of feeling very superficial in a way. Like you're trying to force the outcome, you want certain things to happen, and you think if you just keep showing up like this, showing up like this, showing up like this, then it's bound to happen. That I get the sense isn't happening out of faith, it's definitely happening out of fear. And this has been coming up for like 2 or 3 clients in the last couple of weeks, in the areas of relationships, in the areas of business, mostly relationships, actually. So I would also invite everyone to think, regardless of whatever area you're resonating with this reading on and these particular cards, like broaden out your scope in your life and go, Are there relationships, whether that's a relationship with myself, with a particular person, with a business or career? How am I showing up in my relationships? This is going to be a huge clue and a huge gift and a step in the direction of being more decisive because you're getting more of the full picture. It's not all on your shoulders. It's not you need to figure all of this out and then you can bring it out to the world. It is going to be a team effort, inside and outside. And that outside includes other people, other relationships, and other factors. We can't ignore this. Yes, you are strong. Yes, you are powerful. Yes, you can move mountains. But at the same time, this isn't the leverage that you need to be applying in this situation. Your Ace of Swords is showing that you're sort of headed, not headed in the wrong direction, but your gaze is focused in the wrong direction. You're focused on the wrong things. If something you've tried something over and over and over and over again, and it's not working, perhaps there is room for growth and improvement, but maybe just look in some other areas as well. I think that's why you're getting this sense of, do I leave? Do I just like count my losses and my blessings and head in a new direction, leave the stuff behind? There's a bit of energy of cutting off as well, of like, it would just be so much easier if I could walk away and say, I'm done with this. Because this queen, a queen with a sword in the wrong direction, this is mental frustration and fatigue. And if you're not there yet, you're probably getting there if you keep it up. So this Eight of Cups, it's so tempting emotionally to just cut yourself off and walk away. But there is a part of you, the hopeful part, the niggling and knowing part, that's like, there is more here. There is a gift. There is something that the universe is, just waiting to give us when and if we're ready for it. And we can't do that if we walk away. And no wonder there's this push and pull of like it feels better to leave, but I know and I trust and I sense there's more here if I stay, but it can't be in the same way. Which brings us to temperance and strength. It's about balancing those strengths and balancing that passion. Your feelings are valid and they are accurate, but our interpretation of them isn't always. So when you're getting the sense of needing to leave, is that leave certain relationships, leave certain ways of being? Perhaps it's leave the aspect of this situation, this business, this project, this relationship that you're trying to manipulate and control. So it's not about leaving the entire thing behind, but it's like where you're currently positioned and placed in relation to what you're working on and what you're hoping to create. It's, you're on the wrong square on the chessboard kind of thing. So asking yourself questions like, where do I feel most strong and able? What helps keep me feeling committed and decisive? And also, where am I out of balance? So, where is this situation out of balance? And how can I bring it back into balance? The Queen of Swords, a lesson that she needs to learn is like, not everything is solved in the mind and not everything is solved by force. I think she's a great gift in, saying, get some perspective, be decisive. But if you're finding that your perspective and your decisiveness is lacking, well, applying more force to that is only applying more force to indecision and uncertainty. All right. I'm feeling called to, because I think this is more than a one and done kind of thing. So even though you might be working on this in the next week to 2 weeks, it'll play out over the next couple of months into the new year. So let's look at, November, December, January, some lessons and learnings for you that you can apply. These can feel thematic, like for the rest of November, work on card 1. For December, work on card 2. But take it as it resonates. Right, we're not going to take all of those, so just the 3. All right, on the bottom of the deck, we've got Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. I find it interesting. We've got 3 ladies and there's a full moon. It's a full moon, well, this Saturday. So this will come out publicly on Saturday if you're in my private Facebook group, Tarot Tea and Transformation, which is free and you're all welcome to join. This will come out earlier in the week, so you get a heads up. But there is a significance here. Next 3 days, the full moon in particular. So whenever you see this, even if it's a few days after the full moon, is like connecting to that energy of fulfillment, of possibility, but also like trusting that the universe is the one that has the most control over these situations. That doesn't mean you're powerless. It means focus on where your power is. If there's things outside of your control, let those go. All right, for November, so the current month, how can you mother yourself? A lot more compassion is needed in the next couple of weeks as you make the shift, as you move away from the mind, as you step into your feelings and start to listen to them. All right, in December, we've got Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? Because you've mothered yourself and, allowed yourself to be more compassionate, be more loving, be more in your feelings, and be more in faith as well, much more trusting. You're going to, because you're still the Queen of Swords, you want to take action. So December is a month to take action in, which might seem a little bit weird because it's like the end of the year and there's Christmas coming up and New Year's and most people have holidays. But when you're feeling inspired to act, act. And that doesn't mean you have to like start a business in December, but maybe you can lay the foundations. It doesn't mean you need to launch a product or do something entirely new, but you can take small steps towards it. So action is the word for December. In January, we've got Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. So a step and evolution in your spiritual connection and relationship. So you might be receiving a lot more nudges and whispers from the universe. You might find January is a very spiritual time for you, maybe a lot more connected to your mission, your calling, that feeling that you've been developing and working on. So I see all of this, more loving and compassionate, more active and decisive, and more connected and spiritual. It's all setting you up for a whole new year in 2025 where your power doesn't come from what can I control? Your power comes from how conscious can I stay and can I have the courage to follow where I'm called to lead? All right. Let's see if there are any particular messages. Feeling called to go a bit of a past, present, future, just in the way of like what has been impacting this situation. So past, present, and future. All right, past, we've got the Seven of Pentacles, finances. In the past, your finances, and also like, is the work that I've done worth it or working has really been on your mind. So a lot of this sort of just overly strategic thinking and getting caught in making the right or the wrong decision and this very hard black and white kind of thinking has come from what you've made the past mean. The Seven of Pentacles, it's not super active, but it is subtly like thriving and verdant. You've planted a lot of seeds, you've done a lot of cultivation, you've done a lot of work, and you're very, very concentrated on your finances. So in the past, it's been very much what have I put in and what can I get out, and why isn't maybe it feeling as equal as I feel like it should be? This has been a big impact and a big influence on where you currently feel. Something I wrote in my own reflections the other day was around, oh, I can't even remember where I've got that paper. The hard road is a perspective issue. So when we think, this is so hard, this is so difficult, this is never going to happen, all these things are against me, often it is a perspective because we all know like something comes into our life, like a new person, or, you win something on the lotto, or you have a good night out, or you get a new client, or something exciting happens at work, and everything else is the same. But because your perspective has shifted because of this event or action or person or feeling or thing, you're able to see the rest of the situation differently from a different lens. And that is really a message I'm seeing coming through here. It's like, you could look at this card and go, oh my God, the crops are taking forever to grow. And this farmer is like looking at it content. This is the way it's meant to be. Yeah, I can't eat this pentacle fruit right now, but I'm so proud of what I've created. I know it's coming soon. It's also going to have like so many seeds in each of those fruits, so I can have more and more crops for seasons to come. Like his perspective is very gentle, but it's also so strong. He understands how this works. That is a gift that you can give yourself that you haven't been giving yourself. All right, in the present position, we've got the Hierophant in reverse. You're a little bit resistant to change and learning at the moment in this area. So maybe that's because of this. You're like, I've done a lot. I've learned a lot. I can't learn anymore. I don't want to learn anymore. I've done enough. And again, why you're in that sort of do I walk away mode or do I give it another shot? This like call to have a new mentor or have a new focus on building skill or developing or trying again or trying in a new area, it also doesn't have to be as hard as it's been in the past. Again, a perspective issue. If you're telling the story of every time I've learned something, it's not been useful. Every time I've hired someone, it's not worked out. Every time I tried, I found myself in the same position, whatever it was that I tried. This is a perspective, this is a story, this is reinforcing that it's a hard road and it's not helping. Put down your sword and really focus on, that's coming back into balance, having the strength and the decisiveness. And it's okay if you strongly decide something in this moment, go all in, back it, and then in the future, with more information, change your mind again. It's not about making one choice right for the rest of your life. It is about making your current choice right until it no longer feels right. And maybe it won't ever not feel right. You just keep going and keep making decisions and keep making choices. And it has, the ups and the downs, the opportunities and the challenges, but you make it work. And sometimes you give yourself the gift of rather than 6 months of, flipping and flopping and being on the fence, you go, okay, I'm going to do this. 2 months, you figure out, nah, that was the wrong choice, but you've saved yourself 4 months on that journey. So be open to learning again and be open to it doesn't have to be a hard road. All right, in the future, we've got the Five of Pentacles. I think you're waking up to the fact that money isn't everything. This is going to be a hard lesson, though. And when I see the Five of Pentacles, I always see that this is a perspective issue because these people are in the perspective of their life of like, look at all the hard stuff life has done to us and how cold it is right now, not realizing that there are still Five Pentacles. I know this isn't like the traditional meaning necessarily, but they're in front of this beautiful stained glass window, which I can only assume is a warm and beautiful church or some kind of building, and there are Five Pentacles. It's like that half, the cup half full, or the cup half empty. They're in empty, but if they were to look up, get perspective, and see that what they have available is enough and enough to work with and enough to begin with and enough to, begin to like next time when they get a couple more pentacles, actually appreciate it, it'll make a huge difference in their life. So in the future, I see the most important piece of all of this is doing the work not to reinforce the lack or what is around you, but to look for and to set up for what is available, what is coming your way, what you can appreciate. And not because, it's ignorance or it's not acknowledging the hard stuff. You're always going to know when the hard stuff is around, but it doesn't need to be the thing that brings you down. All right, our final card today. I pulled this deck out for a client last week, and I just haven't pulled any from the Kali Oracle for a while, but I feel that energy returning of fierce, loving mother energy. So we're gonna ask Kali for a little bit of guidance. This is gonna be for collective, so it's for everyone. Maybe you resonate with it as a message to your past self, to your present, or to your future. They're always so powerful. And I'll read a little bit from the book because they're so specific as well. But allow yourself to be intuitively guided too. 27, Sri Bala. This beautiful, warm gold and red card. This more masculine figure and then the feminine figure at the front. Let's have a look. I don't know if I've pulled this card before. Now, there's like 4 or 5 pages in this. I won't really read it all, but I will read sections of it. Allowing yourself to be open to Kali's wisdom and divine guidance. If you're taking notes, I'd recommend having a pen and paper handy. And just let's see where it takes us. Kali is such a good representative of how you can have the sword, but you can also have that peaceful, thriving balance. She is so in her power that she knows she doesn't have to compromise. It's not love or success. It's not, happiness or money. It's all of those things. And she fights for all of it. So let's see what she has to say. I just knocked off the Four of Cups in reverse. Set aside your skepticism and your stubbornness when it comes to thinking you can have it all. All right, let's try not to lose my voice. Divine child with wisdom beyond her years, the old soul with deep knowing dwells within our hearts. She urges you to commit to your most passionate inspirations completely and without hesitation. There are genius and wisdom in what you yearn to do. You have a greater capacity to attain fruition than those around you recognize. Believe in yourself, even if no one else does. It is not imagination that drives you towards your destiny, but an instinctive recognition of your true purpose. Validation from others will come later. Your path is authentic and you are destined to succeed. That's beautiful. Just having a look if there's anything else standing out. Sri Bala arises when we need to trust in what feels right on an inner level, not allowing a lack of external validation to deter us from our innate and authentic purpose. I see that in that Five of Pentacles. The strength of intention, combined with pure and fearless commitment to our true nature, is often enough to change the course of what is happening. The mountain can be moved by faith the size of a mustard seed. The story of feisty Bala can inspire us. At first, we may gain no support for our efforts. We must continue to apply ourselves and not give up on who we are and what we came to this planet to accomplish. In doing so, the power needed shall be divinely given. Public validation can come later, but we do not need it to accomplish what is required. All right. So Bala, by the way, on this card is a child. I know I've skipped a bit, so just to say that so it's relevant. The childlike wildness, unaffected, untamed, of Bala is the unconditioned self that knows how to move towards its natural fulfillment. Our minds may step in to say no, or to give reasons why it is not appropriate, like the unconventional notion of a little girl as a powerful conquering war hero. Yet the innate wisdom of the soul needs to be allowed to manifest. She is not fighting for the sake of it. She is fighting against the evil she sees. To allow for Sri Bala to arise within is to allow for the protective spirit that sees truthfully and acts with purity and fearless commitment to the path, even if our mother worries about our life choices at first. The Divine Mother empowers her, and so too empowers us to manifest our destinies with her help. Trust in your destiny. You are more than capable of the task for which your heart yearns. Beautiful. So maybe to correct, that figure in the background is a mother figure. It was just giving more masculine vibes, which, by the way, Kali represents masculine and feminine energies. In this book in particular, there are some cards that appear male, and it's just all about the different incarnations and like representatives of her power and her strength and, the wisdom in mythology. So, what an interesting card. We have come to the end of this week's reading. Let me know what landed, let me know what resonated, and let me know what you're going to do about it. I believe in awareness plus action, not just absorbing, not just, having the awareness and letting it linger or leave. It is about taking action on it. So even if it's a micro magic step, take it today. And if it's something big and bold, take it today. Like, you know what is right for you. Follow that calling, trust yourself. You can move mountains. All right. If you'd like to book a private reading, you can do that. These are one-to-one readings via Zoom. The readings are 30 minutes, but if you would like to extend to an hour, just send me a message and I can give you the information on how to book that one. If you would like a 30-day forecast, those are also available. That is a 30-day report where I pull cards on every single week for you so that you get a very personal insight in what's coming your way. And of course, because we're coming up towards the end of the year, I'm going to be offering very soon my 12-month forecast. So this is where I do a PDF report. And instead of, every week, it's like all 12 months plus major energies, things coming your way, challenges and obstacles. It's very in depth, and you can literally turn to this booklet, this report every single month to prepare and to reflect. If you'd like more information on that, you can reach out, but also it will be more publicly announced and on my website in the next couple of weeks. But if you want one sooner, just send me a message or email me. All right. Thank you. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time.